Good morning. Hello. We have audio this morning. Yes. Hi. What? Flynn's got chicken pox. Are we working? Is this stream happening? Right, the stream is working. Good. Okay. Hello, everyone. Seems to be some big delay with YouTube this morning. I've been having some trouble with YouTube. Getting on YouTube Studio, and Flynn was having trouble getting chat. Chat wasn't appearing for him on his iPad. I don't know. So, hello, Monster Mark. Adam can't hear or see me. Are we being serious? I don't know. Okay. So, yes, I have a new camera angle. So I can kind of look at the camera and read at the same time. Except OBS has done some weird things with stretching my interface, it seems. Great. I don't know what's going on, but there we go, I'll make it a bit less stretched. That's cool. A new mic. I'm using a different mic. It does sound different. Does it sound okay? Adam, you're never serious. Can we check the LED lamps now? Oh, that's a good point. You can't see them from this angle. Let me tilt my camera. You'll be able to see my new lights. Well, there we go. LED lights. Yay. And they're dimmable. Sound sync is goo. The sync is goo. It's really hard to adjust the camera. It's not. Yeah. Anyway, so I'm going to do a quick roll call. Get this out of the way, I think. Mr. Who 30, hello. Yes, I know. Hadn't even started yet and I was already getting downvotes. I think just because I'm doing a chat one today and that's all. I don't have anything planned. Samuel, good morning. Hello, Flynn. Hello, Teddy. Hello, Rat Madness. Good morning, Andy Mouse. Dave Odessa, hello. Mark Olson. Good morning. Azzy, hello. Hey, Michael. Ray. Adam Bryant. Hey, Didier. Dishipu, hello. I came to program Python and chat about electronics, and I'm all out of Python. Okay. Well, I'm all about coding in Python at the moment and doing no electronics. So there you go. We've switched places. Sorry, I'm just trying to read some of the chat. There was some at me while I'm going. Still scrolling. Miss all the fun conversation at the start of the stream when I'm not around. How long has Flynn been chatting for this morning? Oh wow, okay, cool. Hey Rota, good morning. Good morning, Henrik. Fago, apologies. Christopher White, hello. Johnny's here. Unexpected sound, yes. Albert, hello. Monster Mark, I said hi to already. And Dave, I said hi to already. Templatronics, hello. Tiny LED Matrix. Savage Electronics, yay. Hey Rob. Embedded Hobbyist, hello. Hadel, hello Germany. I was going to say hello from Germany, but I'm not in Germany. Hi Daryl. Hello Dustin. In Michigan. And Bruce. Bruce is doing a latency test. How did that work? It was a bit of a delay, me saying Bruce. Or is that not a sound latency? A chat latency? Okay, that makes sense. Still scrolling. Good morning, Ian. Hello, JTax. And it jumped. Yes, of course it jumped. Stephen Mott, good morning. Dustin Chislow, got a few Dustins. P-Mouse, hi. Scrolling all the way back now. And John Raymond, hey John. I hope you're well. Nick Tucker, hello. Philip, hello. I should just start at the bottom and scroll backwards all the time. It seems to work better. Okay, Photochromax, hi. Station 240, hello. Kitan is here, hello, aka Soggy Buns. Video's dark, yeah, so I've got on my left side, so on my right side, or my right side, I've got the lights where I normally have, and the other side I use sunlight, but there isn't any sunlight because it's dark outside, so it's uneven. I've got no way of, yeah. As the stream goes and the sun comes out eventually, it evens itself out, but yeah. It's the same normally, it's just that the picture quality is a bit better now, so you can see in more detail how bad the lighting is. Good morning, James. Cable Tie, hello. Quick pop in before work. Hello, Christian. If I missed anyone, I'm sorry. I'm at the bottom of the list now. But I might have missed Alan. Alan K, hello. Good morning, Alan. Okay, I think I've got everyone. So, the LED lights, yeah, are awesome. I've got them set to daylight. So, I don't remember what I mentioned last stream beforehand, just very quickly. The reason it's also a short stream today is because I can only get the electricians in on Wednesday to do the work because Wednesday is the only day that my kids aren't here. So the electricians are working here and they've got the power off, or like last week there was no internet for like 6 hours. What are my kids going to do? There's just no way my kids can survive without the internet and electricity. So we do it on a Wednesday. Unfortunately, I stream on a Wednesday and the tradies like starting early in the morning. There's nothing I can do about it. But I'm grateful that I can even get this work done right now because we're in lockdown. And so it's, very special circumstances. So, hang on, I'm getting atted at. Good morning with a coffee. Yes, I got to drink my coffee. I don't have my coffee warmer here anymore. So I got to drink it before it goes cold. JTax, I like how you're using your failed PNP as a table. Yeah, you can actually see it now. It is a table. I use it for a shipping and packing table. It's actually really good for that. Very expensive table, but yeah, very good for that. Hey Zero himself, how's your pick and place packing table going? Did you change your workaround? Quality looks 100% improved compared to last time. I have. I've changed my camera. I've changed my microphone. And I've been finally working on my desk setup. So, yes. Camera angle is different. It is different. It's weird. It's you can see stuff behind me. You can see I don't know which way to move. My couch, which is my storage for parts right now. One of my places. Garage is being wired for the maybe future or next PNP. Yeah, so I mentioned last week that the electricians were coming to redo power. So they're doing the second half of that today. They've run all the cables and they're going to do the power boards, switchboards on each side. They did all my Wi-Fi last week, running all my new networking cable. I'm now using Unify networking everywhere. I seem to be the last person in the world that has upgraded their Wi-Fi from the absolute crap we had here. There was about 3 areas in the house where the Wi-Fi worked and everywhere else was a black hole. So that's been upgraded, which is awesome. They're doing a little bit more today. And today I am finally moving myself over to 10 gigabit networking, at least for me and my NAS and my server, which I've been struggling on 1 gigabit networking for way too long. I promised myself 5 years ago I was going to move over to 10 gigabit. And it's taken me 5 years of kicking and screaming. Why am I doing it myself? Not allowed to, yeah. We have very strict laws in Australia. I mean, I could do the networking myself, but they were already here running all the electrical wiring from the house, because the main switchboard is in the house, to the garage, or to my area, which is a separate building, right? It's not attached. So if they were doing that anyway, and they were up in the roof, and they were already, it cost nothing more for them to run the Cat 6 at the same time. So that's why I got them to do it. Plus there are spiders in the roof. I don't want spiders. I don't play with the spiders. So yeah, I'm using the Ubiquity or Unify APACs, the PoE ones in the house, so it's all PoE, but I'm just using injectors. I didn't buy myself a PoE switch on purpose. It seemed overkill to buy a PoE switch because it's all rack mounted, just for 3 PoE ports. So I just got injectors and I'm using those, which is fine. Yes, hi Ian, good morning. Yeah, the tradies are also happy because they've got work because they're down to like 2 days a week. Like they're not actually allowed to work. Like they have to get special compensation to work on jobs. So hey Paul, we have a spare 4G router modem if you need to get out of. No, I don't even want to suggest to my kids that is ever an option, Alan, because then I'd never get them off the internet. Oops, Flynn's watching. I wonder if and Ollie's out there too. Great, there you go. Well, that just wrecked that one, didn't it? Sorry if I'm missing. I'm trying to go back to the chat. No, IKEA pick and place table. Big difference between right. Australia and Netherlands is you can do it yourself over there. Yeah, no, look. I mean, I can, but and I don't play with mains. So I actually got myself some. I haven't even opened them yet. Got myself some Microtech switches, which I'm really excited about. 10 gigabit switch and a 24 port 1 gigabit switch, and using fiber between the two of them, 10 gigabit fiber between the two of them. So nah, don't do it, Alan. Don't do it. It's okay. The 4 port 1 watt. You're talking about the Microtech? No, I got the big one. Hang on, I'll show you. I plan to not have to upgrade this for the next very long time. Just like my last networking gear, like I bought the gear that's in there right now, I bought 15 years ago. Like, so yeah, this was an investment, but I don't plan on, like, this will last me forever. So this is so I just got a standard switch. This is the cloud switch. If you can see the model number, it's a CSS 326. So this is just a 24 port gigabit switch. Oops, I can't. It's backwards. But it's got SFP plus connectors, right? So this is just for the general networking that isn't 10 gigabit. And then I got this is the beauty. This is the thing I've been really looking forward to. Hey, Aaron. And hi to anyone that's popped in that I haven't said hi to. No. This is not 18 months. I'll be keeping this. I don't think I'll ever have to upgrade this. Not allowed to, PMouse. Or I don't think I'm allowed to do it myself and get them to check it. They can't check it and sign off on it if they didn't do the work. The laws here in Australia are very strict. Anyway, so I got this. See the model? The CRS 312. This is their top of the range. Doesn't like Alvin. What? Alvin? What did I miss? Anyway, so this is a 10 gigabit router. It's a full switch router. You can run router OS on it or their switch OS, right? And so it's got, so these are all, these are all 10 gigabit ports. These 4 ports are shared with the SFP plus. And so and then of course I'll be connecting this to the other one. Alvin and the Chipmunks. Yeah, I know Alvin and the Chipmunks, but why would I not like them? So anyway, I've been really wanting to buy some Microtech stuff for a long time. As I said, I promised myself to upgrade to 10 gigabit a long time ago, but I felt undeserving whole story in itself. But anyway, I finally took the plunge. I'm doing it now because the electricians were here doing the other stuff. Are you missing something? What? I don't know. What are you missing? This is just a run network cable. Well, you need a switch to connect things together on the network, sure. But that is to run 10 gigabit. So I've got 10 gigabit to my desk here, 10 gigabit to the back desk there. Obviously my server and my NAS is now, I've upgraded my NAS with a 10 gigabit card. And so my aim is to be able to, if I can, to be able to edit directly off my NAS and not have to store all my files and do it all locally and then back it all. Yeah, anyway. No, not on the network cabling. Have to get someone to sign off on the electrical cabling that they're doing. They're doing electrical. And while they're at it, I'm getting them to just run. I just got them to run 6 network cables. That's all. I could have done it myself, but they were up there anyway. So anyway, they're coming back today to finish it off. And I'll have no power for a long time, like 4 or 5 hours today probably. And I don't know what I'm going to do, actually. I mean, I've got some stuff I can do. I've got to rebuild my rack. I've got to pull the rack out. So anyway, yeah. So that's really exciting. As I said, I've been waiting a very long time for this. Some other exciting news is go to the park. I'm not allowed to go to the park. We're in lockdown. I'm not allowed to leave the house unless I have to go to the doctor's or go to the supermarket to buy something, whatever. Like it's, yeah. I mean, I can go for a run, but it's freezing. It's raining today. Cold and raining and wet and windy. Parts organisation when there's no power. It's hard to do that when I can't access my parts. So that's the next thing. So Mark, who's in the chat, he got access to my parts a couple of days ago. He's my first alpha tester. And hey, thanks Renee, and hello, and hey, Quixotic Geeks. I'm sorry if I haven't said hi to people in the chat. Yes, is that reminding me to drink my coffee? Thank you. I love it when it's hot, not so much when it's not. Lucky Mark. What did I miss? Oh, Lucky Mark, right. So yes, it was really interesting because the onboarding worked really well. That was what I was afraid of. And then he went to import all his stuff from LCSC and yeah, it broke. It blew up my parts. But it's fixed now. That's okay. It got better. Yeah, there was a very large order waterboarding the users. So, I mean, it's not really an alpha. It's further along than alpha, but if I call it an alpha, then I can get away with everything being broken, right? So, it's an initiation, yeah. So Mark was my first, I was going to say, he's a tester, my first sucker. Yeah, no, it's good. I had him on. He's been finding a few bugs for me and giving me some feedback, and I'm going to be handing out some more alpha codes to my patrons this week. I was hoping to do it yesterday, but there was some more things I've been working on. But yeah, so far so good. That's really exciting. So I'll be rolling out my parts over the next little while. Feels forever that I've been working on it. Hundreds of prototype parts. Yeah, see, it's going to be interesting because if, like, people who buy a lot of stuff from AliExpress, they're going to have to manually enter their parts, right? There's no way of having that data kind of already there. But the way my parts works is it runs off a master parts database. So as people add stuff, it gets added to the master parts system. Or if people import stuff from LCSC, whatever else, it gets scraped and imported into the master parts database. So the next person that goes to want to add that part, if it's already there, they don't have to add that part. Like, as in someone's already filled in all the details for that part. If it's got an official manufacturer's part code. Okay, right. So yeah, if you're buying from official channels, it'll be much easier to get the data in. Don't you worry about duplicates as the user base grows. Well, there'll always be... What do you mean by duplicates? Everyone has their own copy of their own data, obviously. But it's it's about getting the data in. It's all about having to do as little data entry as possible, because that is the thing I hate the most. So I built this system around leveraging work that other people have done already. It's not a new concept, obviously, and there are other systems that do similar things, but yeah. Plans on doing anything with FPGAs in the future? Yes, I do, and I have a box full of FPGA stuff. I just have no time to work on anything. Like, I'm really, time poor, as many of you are, understand. It's just really hard to, I've got too much to do, never enough time to get anything done. I'm doing my best not to take on any new projects at the moment, but it's hard, because there's plenty of things I'd like to be playing with. And I'm really struggling just to get what I want to get done finished. What happens if you manually add a part that is already there? Well, that's okay. It just won't replace what's up on the master parts. But the point is, you don't need to. Like, you can check if it's there first. Let me see if I can show you. Okay, let me see. What? No secret project. I've still got my secret projects, which are stalled. I'll get there one day, and I'm waiting on stacks of stuff to come. I'm about to go into a big argument with AliExpress shortly about my preheater that I bought. I'll get to that one in a second. Remind me in a second. Oh, what happened to my head? Let me fix my head. That's a bit better. Hey, Andrew. So, for example, like when you're going to add a part, so you can, if you know what the code is, what's an example of a code I can put in, that just to show. Mark, what was the, you put the MCP, the 23017, that was the SPI one, didn't you, the other day? What was that? Use at 5, Sam declares war on an AliExpress seller. Yeah. Oh, wow. Today I broke. Oh, no. That sucks. I don't know if... Okay, I don't know what this code is that Pierre just did. But okay, if it's an LCSC code, you can just put any LCSC code in. Yeah, it's written in Django, right? And hit enter or click the search icon. And so that code, I've never used this part before, but I just put that code in and now all the data's here for me, right? It's filled all of this in. It knows there's a button switch toggle. It couldn't find an appropriate SMD footprint. So, but it's done all that, and all I have to do now is click add. Or if I was using it on a project, I'd click the project that it was on, or if it was a new project that I don't have in here, I could just click plus, put a project name in, but I can just click add. I'll do it, whatever. And now that part, this is my local copy. As you can see, it's running off localhost. Okay, anyway. So, yeah, I'm in the middle of doing some changes. So that was a quick scrape, right? Now, but technically, so if that's the code, right? So that's in the master part system now. So if anyone else goes and puts the LCSC code or that part code in, right? It's just there now. See that? What was that other one? So Mark, late, but I had to find it. Right. So yeah, Mark put one in the other day. No, do you have the not the LCSC code? What's the manufacturer's code? Yeah, I know it's an but it wasn't that. It had the slash blah 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 on it because it was the SPI version. Do you remember what the actual manufacturer was? The full part code? Anyway, I know how you feel with the time thing. I had nothing on for a month. Yeah, I just saw that you have now got a whole lot of work to do right when you were starting to make your boards, Paul. Hey G-Bound. Hello Michael. Hi to anyone again that I haven't said hi to, sorry. Yeah, crashing's a feature, not really. So, I mean, if I type... Mark's gonna have a look in my parts. So if I just type this code in, it's not going to find it because it's not the complete code, right? And it's looking locally. If I use a wildcard, it's looking locally. So I've added some interesting things. I've added different types of wildcards searching. So like for instance, if I'm looking for something that's got right, there it is. Okay, that's the part. So if you type the full part code in and search, it'll also find it. So that just grabbed that from the master parts system. It didn't have to re-scrape it because it's already been scraped, but it still loads all the data in, right? So I didn't add this part. Mark added the part, but it's now there for me to also be able to just grab. But obviously I can't edit because of that bug. Anyway, so I've also done things like, so if I'm looking for an ESP, I can just type ESP star and it shows me my ESP32s. The slash won't trip things up, no. It's fully SQL secured, injection secured. Well, it should be. I've not managed to do any SQL injection attacks on it, but I'm sure someone will break it. Someone somewhere will break it. I've also added some fuzzy logic. So if you type in ESP32S2 without the dash, ESP32, really? Right. Enter's looking online. Anyway, it found it with the dash, even though I didn't put the dash in, right? But I can also do things like star S2, and that also finds it because if I clear first, star S2, because you can do wildcard either side, or I could do star 32 star. This is only looking locally. So this is a list of all the parts that have got 32 somewhere in it. What happens if you don't hit search but add a part that's already there? Oh, well, you can't add a part that's already there or you can actually. You can add a part for yourself that's already there. It doesn't track unique IDs on a part name because I've actually got parts that have the same part name that are actually different parts. Okay, let's see if this breaks it. Not found. There you go. Doesn't break it. So yeah, for instance, if I go to my my RAM, where's my RAM? Where's memory? Not my RAM, my flash. So I've got, you can see here, these two parts. These are two actually unique SKUs because of the way they ship, unfortunately. And I could technically join them together, but from a manufacturer's point of view, they're actually two different parts. I can order this part or this part, and they'll ship in two different ways, right? So normally a manufacturer's part code will have a different letter. Hey, Eric. A different letter in it to designate whether it comes on a reel or a tube, but for some reason, Winbond don't do that. So all of their parts have exact duplicate names, no matter how they ship, which is really frustrating. So I had to have the ability to not have unique. So it supports non-unique part names. It has to, right? Bit annoying. Might drop. Okay, let's see. Let's try James one. I'm curious. Let's find out. Do I do it with the quotes or without the quotes? James? I'll do it without the quotes, see what happens. If the thing stops moving. So if I type that, you want me to type that in? Oh, look at that, not found. No, what about with the quotes? No. No problems. I have secured it as much as I can. I know it's supposed to be a joke. I know. But SQL injection's a real thing. It's a real thing. Try running SQL map on it. I don't even know what SQL map is. Anyway, yeah, well, are these two different codes for the same part, are they? So what are these ones? Let's find out. Yeah, right. So this is a TP4054 from TP Power, and this one is TP4054, yeah, by a different supplier, right? But they both got the same names, exactly. No, SQL's not black magic. I've been playing with SQL for a long time. Not found because the table is dropped, because it imploded. Yeah, look, I'm not saying it's totally secure. I'm sure someone will show me how to break it, you know. But I've learned a lot more about server security and database protection than I ever wanted to know. What are you gonna do? No, I don't know. Maybe for some people, I've been using SQL or SQL for a really long time. Really long time. So, yeah, not so hard for me. Since then, I use a framework that abstracts a database. Yeah, it's going through an ORM. I'm not doing raw SQL on purpose because that way I can move it over. Right now, it's still running off a SQLite database, which I personally think is going to be fine because I don't think I'm going to have that many people using this. But it gives me the option to, for instance, move it to Postgres with no issues, right? Because it's using the ORM in between. The object relational model system. Yeah. Early on, I was actually using my own raw SQL, but I'm not. I ripped it all out. No, it's 100% SQL, but written SQL for trademark. ORM. I'm using SQL in my current project, but have needed Material UI and REST. Needs lots of help. Yeah, so I wrote a REST framework between my parts and my parts master database, which are running on two different servers. They're not in the same thing. So yeah, when can I get Alpha 2? When I fix all the rest of these things that I was breaking yesterday. So yeah. So it's actually, I'm just going to go back to here. It's interesting because now that Mark's using it, and I know there's some other people that want to get in, I'm going to send some codes out this week. My instinct is to just keep pushing bits and pieces through, right? Did I leave my mail open? Whoops. It's just like, work on something and push it out, work on something and push it out. Just keep pushing features or whatever. But that's actually really hard for then users to track what changes there are. So I'm planning on doing more staged releases, unless it's a quick bug fix that I have to get in there. Actually, I'll go back to here. But the problem with that is that how do users know what the changes are? So I've put together if you click on the version down the bottom, I'm going to put together a change list page. But the problem with that is, and before anyone tells me to just suck the commit messages from Git, the problem is I have to fill this in. And who could be bothered filling this in? And I can't suck the commit messages from Git because that means I have to do proper good commit messages, and I don't. Because who's got time to put big commit messages in? Because there isn't a team of people that have to read the messages, then it doesn't matter. And I'm just, I don't put gibberish in, but there's no way I'd let my commit messages be listed here. Hey, Brian. So, yeah, that's yeah. So the reason Mark's asking for Alpha 2 is because I added something for him the other day. Yesterday, I've now put in custom pagination numbers. So people that are working on a big screen can have a lot more parts. So I could set, 32 for the parts per page. And now if I go to my parts And if I turn on my resistors, which I have a lot of, I can get 32 parts in the pagination, and I've only got 4 pages, right? Where, I think the original default I had was 10, because that fit really well on my phone when I was looking on my phone, right? And now there's 4, how many pages are there? 12 pages. So I think that's why he wants, no, you don't want that. Oh, right, you want the fix for the stock on hold update. Yes. Okay. Maybe today I'll get, actually I can't, I'm not going to have any internet soon. So I've been spending a lot of my time coding just because I need to get this into people's hands to test. People have been patiently waiting for a long time. I've got people on Patron who have backed me on Patreon specifically to get access to the alpha, and they've been waiting really patiently, and I really appreciate it. Building this system has been way more work than I thought it was going to be because of the amount of work I had to do to actually just make it stable. If it crashes and breaks for me or something happens when I'm using it, no big deal. I can fix it, right? Or I can work around it because I know what it is. But when other people are using it, it's got to be robust. And because it's data, if it's not robust and all the data starts getting corrupted, then there's no going back from that, right? There's no fixing it. Hey, did you cool things? I enjoyed implementing recursive SQL statements. Yeah, wow, no. No pronunciation discussions. Let's not do that. We're not doing pronunciation discussions. We're not doing politics. We're not doing Mac versus PC, okay? We're not doing it. It's not happening. Hey Alexis, yeah, someone else mentioned SQL map. I'll look into that. Cool, thanks. I forgot, but this whole system is going to free. No, it's not going to be free. It's going to be a hosted service. Yeah, we're not allowed to talk about ESD either. We can talk about Linux versus Windows, that's fine. We just don't bring the Mac up. No, it's not free. And it's not open source. But it's going to be cheap. I'm thinking I'm going to just do I'm undecided, but I think I'm just going to do a pay what you want model, starting at really low, like $3 a month or something. Yeah, like I find working with databases and SQL enjoyable. Like it's a challenge. Like, I've spent quite a bit of time optimizing this to make it really fast. And I'm sure there's a lot more I can do, but I really enjoy the, I don't enjoy coding, right? But I enjoy the challenge of taking, a whole bunch of, SQL, like hitting the database to do something, and then reducing how much you hit the database, and reducing, how long a query takes, because you really drill down and make sure you only grab what you need to grab, and and write your SQL really well. Like it's quite fulfilling to make it go faster. Sounds great, and a lot better solution than my current Google Sheets. Yeah, a lot of people are using Google Sheets, and they get really complicated, and then so they start a new one, and then they start it, like it's, yeah. So the thing with, turns out it was a touchy subject. What was the subject? I don't know what that's about. Wouldn't it be an idea to get an intern on it? I can't afford to bring anyone on it, and I don't think getting an intern in on it will help, because I'll just end up having to, if they're an intern, I'll probably end up having to fix their code, maybe. I don't know. I'm not saying what I've, like my code, I'm not a professional coder. I've never said, I've been coding professionally my whole life, but I still class myself as a non-professional coder. Hey John. So yeah, like I just, I'm not, for me it's all about, does the system work, and is it fast, and is it robust? And if you look at the code, people might go, oh my God, that's just so not the right way to code this thing. And I'm going, well, I'm about the results. I'm not about the code. So I don't want to get someone else into to be touching the code and changing how I code. I don't think necessarily, like, once you've got two people touching code, then you have to have systems, and you have to have proper planning and stuff. I don't know. Not in Australia, they're not. Interns are free, $300 a month. I don't know where you get that from. Plus, we're in lockdown, and I'd have to get someone remote, and then I'd have to open up the whole code base. And then, how do I explain it all to them? I don't want people. Yeah, No, I'm doing it myself, and it's always, it's almost there. So, Sybase. Wow, that's old. You have to have commit comments. I've got commit comments. I put comments, like I do, and I, but they're not enough for people to if someone else was also on the development team, for them to be able to, anyway. You have to promote rockstar coding. I'm not into peer review. No. Yeah, I am. I review all my code. Oh, absolutely, P-Mouse. No, I get you just brainstorming. And you're right, there's a whole bunch of tedious stuff. Like right now, my biggest, the thing I'm working on right now that is just taking me ages is all of this admin stuff. You can see this stuff with red lines through it. Like, this is all getting revamped at the moment. And this is all tedious. This is all just straight boilerplate, editing a part name, adding part names, like, and all that type of stuff. Like, it's all really mundane stuff. The type of stuff that you'd want to offload to someone else, sure. But see, here's my theory. If you give the shit work to someone else, then all you're doing, you're not inspiring them to do anything other than do shit work, right? Like, there's no being creative on this. I mean, this is all being written, like, I don't have a page, like a per one of these things. Like, this is all dynamically done. But I don't know, like people say to me all the time, like with Tiny Picos, or when I was doing all that soldering, like all the soldering all the Grove connectors on my Grove shields. Is everyone, for those that remember, when I had to solder, I can't remember, I think I ended up doing about well over 9,000 solder joints, right, for my Grove connectors on my Grove shields, right? Like, these are my last one. This is left over of, I can't tell you how many I did. I can tell you exactly how many I did. Actually, I can do it on here. So it was about 750 shields times 3 per board times 4. Yeah, 9,000. I hand soldered 9,000 pins, right? By hand, because I don't have, anyway. And people were saying to me, just get someone in to do all the soldering. And I'm thinking to myself, well, like, who would be inspired to do that? Like, you know what I mean? You experience on obtaining parts that go out of stock worldwide. DigiKey, no stock, 16 weeks lead time with the same manufacturer. Then a week later, DigiKey tell me shipped. What? How does that work? I've had a few situations with LCSC where they've gone out of stock on a part, and I'll contact them and say, hey, I want this part, like, how many do you need? Okay, I need I'll buy 1,000 of them. And so they'll go and get me a quote and say, okay, 1,000 of them, it's going to take, 4 weeks to get them. Right? And so, is that the best you can do? Yeah, 4 weeks. Great. Okay, so I pay for it, they order them, and then 4 days later, they've got them back in stock, and they've got like 2,500 of them in stock. And I say, what are you doing? And they said, oh, we had some coming in. And I'll say, but why did you make me order and wait 4 weeks when you had stuff coming in already? I don't know, maybe something like that happened. Maybe they already had parts on the way that they didn't know about. Majority of my coding career has been solo development projects, trying to share the coding of a project as non-trivial. It's really non-trivial. It really is. It's apart from the things like differences in coding practices and not having formalized guidelines for code and bad or non-existent comments, right? A lot of my code is temporary. So the way I code, I'm not talking about optimization. I'm talking about like I will often hack code badly because I want to see how it works. I want to see how it feels to use it. And then I'll refine the code or I'll destroy the code and do something else. Quite often I'll leave that code in there, not used, and rather than refine that code, I'll leave it and I'll start again, but I'll leave it there as a reference. So looking through a lot of my code, I know what it is, but I can see. Does that make sense? It's like having a history, but not a history through committing. Anyway, the one hand not talking to the other. Yeah, they've done that to me a couple of times actually. Hey, Bleep Track. Hello. Hey, Sean. Inspired by greatness in reality. What are we talking about? Git commit broke everything. Git commit fixed everything I broke. Oh, let me tell you, Git I hate Git. Really don't like it at all. A sort of through haul is ideal for one of your kids to do. Pay them $15 an hour once a week. Yeah, no, I not my kids. Maybe some kids, not my kids. Sorry. Yeah. By the time I got someone in to get them to help me to solder, like the fact is, I just knuckled down and did it, right? I didn't have to do it all in one hit, and I just got it done. So, instantly, the best test of your ability to document your own code is when you come back to it a year later. Absolutely. You know, I look at code that I wrote days ago, and I can't remember why I did it the way I did it, even with the comments. You do code iterations. Yeah, I iterate, but I iterate in a very what I call a hacky way. I mean, maybe it's hack isn't the right word, but I call hacky. That's why I say I'm not a professional coder. I've always coded professionally. I've been paid my whole life to code, so I'm a professional coder. But there's the professional meaning getting paid to do the work, and then there's professional meaning it's of a professional quality, or not the quality, it's of a professional process. Yeah, mine is not a professional process at all. Storage is cheap. Yeah, for me it's about performance, not about storage size. You're right, storage is way cheap. Like I've got, the current Linode that I'm running this on. I'm using Linode to host it. It's their cheapest one that they've got, and I've got way more storage than I'll ever need, right? I mean, bandwidth I'll need more, but yeah, that's not a problem. But it's about performance. It's about the user experience. And the nice thing about web is you've got that whole web latency that you can hide stuff in. But yeah, I need to turn the heater on. It's getting quite cold in here. But you see the light is evening up because the sun's not out, but the light's out. Not remembering is normal. It has to do with how the brain works, apparently. And as you get older, right? Hey, Bound. What is it that no one seems to comment code anymore? Well, you see, it takes more time to comment code than it does to write the code. And to me, code is disposable. But yeah, I actually have commented a lot of my code. I have commented. I don't know why. That's the proper way to write a system. Make it work, then make it work well. Finally made the code look good enough. Sure. But no one ever gets to that final step of making the code look good enough. They make it work better or enough, and then they move on to the next thing. Yes, the shipper's got it right. So it's coding for yourself and coding in a team. I'm not professional enough in my practices to work in a team. I don't think. Like, working in a team would dramatically reduce my output rate by having to... do right by the team. Where for me, I want to get it out. Yeah. Johnny is professional. Well, you're a professional coder though, aren't you? That's what you keep telling me. Yeah, so Johnny FP01 has a good point. Like, the issue is where your business grows and you need to get help in, and how do you hand stuff over? So stuff like my parts, I don't ever plan to. My parts will eventually get to a point where the amount of work I need to put on it reduces as it gets feature-ish complete, right? Other systems in here, absolutely, and that's a challenge for me all the time. Like, I can't get enough done myself. I've been really wanting to bring someone else on for a long time, but I don't know where, unless I can find another Sion that's okay, let me take that back. I don't want another Sion. That would be, God, working with someone like me would be the worst. let me rephrase that. If I could find another multi-talented, multi-disciplined person who can just pick up stuff and switch really easily, like, that's one of my skills, if you can call it a skill, is I can jump between projects rapidly, and I don't need, so I can't remember the term, that there's a name for it, but like, when you have to switch, there's a lot of studies on this, when you have to switch between, like, I'm doing this thing and suddenly I have to do this thing, there's a term for it where the amount of time lost in doing the switch and then getting up to speed on the second thing, does that make sense? Can someone jump in with that if they know what that is? Anyway, context switching, yes, but it's the ramp up. There's a name for the delay or for the lost time. I think there's a name for it after the switch. No, it's not git stash. Anyway, but yes, it's context switching, but yeah, I can't remember what the name is. It's a task switching cost. Someone told me the name of it once. It could have been Matt Trentini, maybe. Procrastination. But no, that's a whole different... I'm the world's best procrastinator. Anyway, I'm extremely good at context switching. Like, I can be working either on 5 things at once, or I can rapidly switch. And I think that's always been a problem with people that worked for me. So like, when I was making games and I had staff, my ability to context switch quickly really frustrated my staff, because they weren't able to context switch quickly, and so they found it very hard to keep up with me, or my switching was disturbing them. That makes sense? So it's even worse now, because I'm not just context switching between like different games or different code bases. I've now got code, hardware, marketing, sales, ordering, fulfillment, manufacturing, stock control. You know what I mean? Like, I'm doing so many different things that I'd either have to bring someone on that was multidisciplined that could really context switch as quickly as me. No, it's not a squirrel, because we're just doing a chat. Or I need to bring someone on that is totally focused on one thing, that I can let them do that and not interrupted, and I don't have enough of one thing to bring someone to do that. Does that make sense? To a period of time when your mind achieves focus and you're in the zone, any interruption to your intense focus and you lose an hour. Right, there's a name for that though, I think. The lost time, I'm sure there was a name. Anyway, that's okay. I used to work in a team where that switching was expected. Such a nice time, super smooth. Right, if everyone can do it. But if one person in the group can't do it, it's really disruptive. And I know, like, I recognize that I used to be really disruptive for my staff in doing that. And a lot of the time I'd just end up doing it quietly. I'd remove myself, like, I'd be in the same room, but I'd pretend I wasn't here. Right? And I'd do what I was doing without interrupting them. Yeah, it's not ambidextrous. Well, like, I'm actually not. I'm pretty bad with my left hand. When it happens to virtual memory systems, it's called thrashing. Yeah, I don't know. Is that a thing for your brain? I don't know. The speed of context switching is not the problem. They would have to switch at the same time in the same task as you. That's the problem. Well, even if they weren't switching task with me, it was the ability to. They were concentrating on what they were doing, and I'd suddenly be going in depth about something else because I'd switched, and the discussion would distract them because either if they wanted to pay attention to what I was talking about, they had to switch in their head what they were listening to. You know what I mean? Or they'd pretend they were listening to me but didn't take any of it in because they were still focused on what they were doing. Yeah. How I work, unfortunately, most of the people I work with can't, and it's uber frustrating for both parties. Yeah, it gets cognitive switching penalty. That doesn't sound like familiar, but that actually sounds really good. Like, yeah, there's definitely a penalty on the switching. Like, it's recommended that you don't switch. Like, you should only work on it like 1 or 2 things a day, and work for don't switch. Don't do short periods with a lot of switches, but some people can, and I can. But yeah, but it has. I recognise it's been detrimental for me having staff in the past, and I reckon it would be the same now. It would be even worse now. But I would love to get some help. I really would. I just can't. So I've got products here that I haven't shipped that are ready to ship that I have not shipped yet. Like my this is a classic one. My Tiny Pico I/O expander. I've got them bagged, ready to go. Cards in them. I just haven't done a product page for them yet. I haven't got around to writing it up and getting all the marketing material together, right? Yeah, I know you've got the same brain, Mark. You and I are very similar. If only you were in Australia. Hint, hint. Yeah, so like that's a really good example. Like, I've got, regardless of the money I've got tied up in this and how many, like, my parts that I can build more and stuff, it's just, I've got other things that are always a priority. Like, there's just only so many hours in the day and I can't get enough done. I can multitask well, yes. Headphones rule to ensure focus periods were not interrupted. What's the headphones rule, Greg? I assume it's the whole don't listen to anything else and focus what you're doing. My problem is when I need to focus, if I put headphones on, there's going to be loud trance in it. And sometimes that's not good for focusing. Don't need to be in Oz to work together on things. I know, it's more about the time zone difference. Most of my day, Mark's asleep. And vice versa. Hello, Nicole. Thank you. It's an Australian accent. You should find who is complimentary of how you work, but she is creative and productive at the same time. That's the thing. I don't want to bring someone on to do work. I want to bring someone on to bring creativity and to bring something, not their labour. I'm not looking for labour. That's the thing. I want to. If I bring someone on, I want them to be able to contribute. Like, yeah, intellectually and creatively contribute, not bring someone in to just, hey, can you pack all the orders and can you type all this stuff up and whatever. You know what I mean? Does that make sense? Headphones on is do not disturb. Right, okay. Get Mark and Emma a plane ticket. I can't, because we're closed. Australia's closed. Victoria is closed. Are you sure? Sounds to me you need a labour to free up some time. No, I could use some labour to free up some time, but that's a temporary thing. You know what I mean? Like, that's not forever. Like, I want... Again, that goes back to the... I could bring someone on to do the grunt work that I don't want to do, or that takes up my time so I can then be more creative, if you want to call it that. But that's like you know, I don't know, how do I explain it? I mean, I don't want to say this and be mean to anyone that wants to be that legitimately wants to be like a janitor or a garbage collector for a living, because I'm sure there are people that maybe want to do that for a living. I don't know, but you would assume that most people, like, that would be the least inspiring thing that they could do as a job, right? I mean, I think so. Employing someone to do the work that you intentionally know is the shit work you don't want to do, like, that to me is not telephone sanitizer. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm just, that's not. If I was going to go to the effort of bring someone in, like, let's say I'm bringing them into my, well, I have to bring them into my space if they're doing manual work, right? If I'm going to go to the effort of bringing someone in to my space and training them up or whatever, exposing them to this to do stuff, I want to bring someone in that can contribute, not someone that is just here to do the work that I don't want to do, if that makes sense. If I could have been, I would have been happy welding for the rest of my life. Sure, but welding's creative. You know what I mean? Even if you're welding really basic, mundane stuff, it's still, welding's creative. Like, you can do really good welds, you can do really bad welds, right? You can be proud of the welding work you do. Anyway, right, Bruce. Yeah, that's why I don't want to hire someone like me as well, because I know I'm an absolute pain to work with. I mean, just ask Yaz, I'm an absolute pain to live with. I know that. So, yeah, like, that's why I don't want to employ someone like me. I want to employ someone who's multidisciplined like me. Yeah. If you want to bring them into my space, certainly do not want a typical security guard. What? Typical security guard, not good for any real job. Not sure what you mean by that, Helmut. No doubt, Ian. I'm not saying that those roles aren't important. I'm just saying that as a person, yeah, I'll do the preheater. Yeah, I'm just saying that most people wouldn't aspire to do that. They might do it and be content doing it, but they'd be doing it for the income, not for the aspiration of it. Is what I'm trying to say. Okay, so hi Sion, welcome to the Never Ending Story Club. What's the Never Ending Story Club? Is looking for Davy Jones, David too. And what is an issue? So I don't know. Is there lots of conversations happening? I don't know what you mean. See you, JTax. Catch you later. I need to. Yeah, I've only got about another 10 minutes, 10 or 15 minutes. So the preheater. So I ordered the preheater from a guy, and the shipping was 7 to 15 days. And I paid 3 times as much. So I bought it from AliExpress. I paid 3 times as much for the shipping as I paid for the unit, because it was still a couple of $100 cheaper than buying it locally. If guys remember, I could have bought one locally, but it was like $600. And people were saying to me, buy it from Ali, pay for express shipping, it'll still be cheaper. So I found a supplier online, and I bought it. And I bought it 11 days ago, and it hasn't left China yet. And I've been chatting with the guy, and I said, what's going on? This is what I paid for. And he turned around and said, no, shipping is 15 to 36 days. And no, my order says 7 to 15. Your listing says 7 to 15. And I paid $100 whatever for shipping this item which is not regular mail. So I want it in that time frame. Well, it's already left and I can't do anything about it now. So, and of course I can't open a dispute because if I open a dispute now and I say, oh, but I don't have it yet, then they say, oh, sorry, well, I have to wait 77 days now to open a dispute, or wait till it gets here. When it gets here, I'm going to open a dispute. I'm going to get my money back for the shipping, because that is just ridiculous. So it was a blatant lie on the listing, or he just sent it wrong. Either way, it really frustrates me when people do that. Like, I don't mind it taking 40 days if that's the option I chose, right? And there was an option there for 40 days, and it was only $13 or $15 to ship it. So yeah, but I'm frustrated because now, like, I've got stuff here that I need the preheater for. I'm now, like, people are waiting for nanos, and I need this thing to keep making more nanos. And yeah, so I found that out this morning. Like, he's come back with me saying no, it's like 16 to 36 days or 39 days, whatever he's quoted me for it. I wonder how the hot grill for $39 from LG Day is running. The grill plate looks like suited to PCB heater. I looked at a few of those things. Yeah, I'd have to put something else on it. I wouldn't want to put the PCB directly on the heater. Look, I just don't know how good they are at temperature control and maintaining even temperature. And I'm not prepared to risk a panel of nanos on it, because a panel of nanos is expensive. You just ordered what? Or something? Ordered August 13 and it's not shipped yet. Ouch. If it's a T8280 like preheater, then please make sure it's wired correctly. Anything I get from China gets opened up and gets checked. Always, before it gets plugged in. Johnny's a kind person, he didn't order a nano. Thank you. I've got stacks people on the waiting list for them. So I will have some Charm High news soon. Not yet. I can't say anything. Well, I could say something, but it would be too early. So it's why I've not mentioned anything, and it's why I've not reacted to anyone's comments about Charm High in here. Charm High have reached out to me. We have been speaking, and I'm now waiting to see if they deliver what they said they were going to deliver. So, yeah, it's why there's been no Charm High videos for me, even though I've got one video ready to go. Just click a button, like, it's been up there for a while, and I've got another video that's pretty much edited that I haven't uploaded, but I'm stopping. I'm holding off in good faith. And if they do what they say they're going to do, then I get to close this chapter and get to move on and go back to making videos about making stuff, not making videos about complaining that I can't make stuff. Which would be a nice change. Yeah. Shipping speed is important. Perhaps need to ask seller first to confirm shipping. Sure, but yeah, it was very clearly stated what the shipping was. Yes. The problem was I couldn't find someone who had one that would sell it to me DHL. I would have done DHL. I would have paid even more for DHL to have it here already. But yeah, I couldn't find the one I wanted. I could have bought a different preheater that I didn't really want, but might have been okay. I don't know, with DHL. But yeah. I figured if I'm going to sit there and use one... Oh yeah, in retrospect, absolutely. But yeah. It sounds possibly good, yes. Look, I don't know if Charm High and I will ever be friends. I don't know. But the hostility has stopped from both sides at the moment. And we are communicating. And I'm doing my best effort to communicate without injecting my frustration, because my frustration level is through the roof. Like, I've not turned this on or built anything on it for a very long time. I still have, well, this will just show it. I still have my production S2s where I haven't even taken the stencil out, because I just cannot build these on the machine as it is right now. So yeah, but if they do what they say they're going to do, then hopefully I'll be picking and placing and I get to move on, which will be really good. So what's happening with DHL right now with basically with China is that for a lot of DHL, is they're gang shipping. So people are doing DHL and they're all getting sent to Singapore. And then in Singapore, they're all being put together into bigger shipments and shipped out because there's not enough flights. So like the last 2 or 3 things I got from DHL from China took longer than normal, that, you know, like a JLC PCB would take, or LCSC. And they're all going via Singapore, and you can see there's like a week to get it to Singapore and get a whole lot of stuff together, and then they ship it all out. Yeah, so smaller supplies getting pushed back, which is why they're ganging them together. I think they do that with AliExpress as well. Yeah, that's been my experience with AliExpress. See you later, P Mouse. Thanks for joining. Let's see, 2 camera types from China. I ended up with a seller who was great. I found some good sellers on Alibaba, but apparently there's some, like I saw that Naomi, Real Sexy Cyborg on Twitter was talking about how that there's some scams or something happening with Alibaba at the moment, possibly, that she was looking into. So it had me a bit worried, but yeah, the Singapore thing is weird. It used to happen occasionally. That's right. So they give you a shipping number, and that shipping number only gets it to Singapore, and then there's a different shipping number when it comes from Singapore, at least for me, to Australia. And it adds about an extra week on the delivery, which is frustrating because you're paying for DHL, and it ends up taking... It's still quicker than doing normal mail from China. And the tracking breaks halfway because of the Singapore thing. So... yeah, so what are all these Alibaba scams I hear about? Like, I've not heard anything. What are we talking about buying? We're just talking about DHL and stuff out of China, and apparently there's some scams. You going to sleep, Jishipu? Catch you later. Mine is an AU number, not China, that disappears. Oh, interesting. I've never been given the last mile number, only the first one, and then I have to chase them down to get the next one. I mean, the stuff gets here, no problem. So your stuff from DigiKey goes via Sydney to get to New Zealand. I mean, sometimes doing multiple hops is easier for the logistics companies because they've already got flights going in those directions, right? It's not a big deal, as long as it doesn't add too much time. Okay, I need to wind down or wind up, because I need to start pulling my garage apart, getting all the networking stuff, the rack out, making room because they're going to put the switchboards in and stuff, getting everything ready. The preheater. Michael says the preheater. What's that about? Melcia's order via DHL has been stuck on Frankfurt since last week. Oh, that's not good. So I've heard the DHL in Germany is really bad, which is bizarre because it's German company, right? Like I would have thought that would have been really good in Germany, but apparently, yeah, DHL is like FedEx is better in Germany, which is bizarre. Yeah, like thanks for joining everyone. Like I'm sorry it was just a chatting stream. It's just yeah, but hopefully next week back onto actually doing something, project stuff on a stream. Yeah, hopefully, fingers crossed. We don't like FedEx. No, you don't like FedEx. DHL's much better for you in the UK and Ireland. But yeah, no. You call them DL? No, I actually, if I can get stuff sent by DHL, that's always my preference. I have no problem with DHL in Frankfurt. It's just what I've heard, that DHL isn't great in Germany. So, it is great? Okay. Cool. Have a good day. Don't forget to print out my parts so you can work on an analog. Yeah, I'll just print all the code out and just write it by hand. That's really funny. Thanks, Paul. Okay. Bye, everyone. Have a great week. I will catch you all next week. Thank you for joining. Bye.